Hello everybody. Welcome to Ruben's Medical Dental College Campus Musings, where we focus on non-academic aspects of trends in college campuses.
Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to Campus Musings by Dr. Ruben. A very important concept is the crux of today's lecture. How to start research. Nowadays, in medical and dental colleges, for various reasons, for NAC, NERF, and Q3 rankings and other ranking parameters, every undergraduate students is asked to do, encouraged to do, or forced to do some form of research and get into publications to help the mentors, teachers, departments. In a way, without going into the intricacies, that is a welcome change. Per se, our education system is not conducive to a research climate. With the changing scenarios, probably the research ethics and research ethos, the ecosystem will develop soon. But for the time being, every student dreams of doing a research properly, and their important challenge is where and how to start. Even before learning research methodology, on what should I write the paper on, or where is my data, how to generate data is the biggest, or how to logically or scientifically approach the challenge is the first important barrier that they face. The lecture today works around or gives a broad idea where and how to start research. Before wasting much time, let us dwell onto it.
The research made simple. No fancy tools needed. All you need is just curiosity, collaboration, and most importantly, persistent. This comes from the stable of Dr. Ruben Tavaraja. To make things easier and lose it for today, I have put this entire presentation into 6 different topics. Basic introduction, what is a research gap, what is a research idea, shortcuts, and a little bit of concentration on barriers in research and key takeaways from today's lecture. Introduction. What is research? As an undergraduate, this is the most important question that you face. Research is nothing but formalized curiosity, an ability to answer to the society as a professional. So, a few statistics. 95% of Indian dentists never do research, and that applies for medicine people also. 4% has attempted to do a sort of research in their professional career, either as an intern or a resident or a postgraduate student. And less than 1% do medical research. And the rest of them are sitting or listening to me. Why research matters? Because a research enterprise enhances your critical thinking, problem-solving ability, and helps in your clinical career. In addition, it boosts the CV for postgraduate opportunities for your work, for your professional. And it helps to address real-world medical and dental professional challenges. Research, a good research means a good publication. A good publication has the ability to influence policies of the government or the agencies. And most importantly, feel-good factor is also there, a satisfaction in our profession to be recognized. There is a constant myth that only geniuses do research. For reality, you need just curiosity, persistence, and strong motivation to do research. Simplifying research concept, you need to learn what you call it as research methodologies. We believe that research methodology is very complex and intimidating. No, it is arising the fear of unknown. Research per se is very simple when you learn and do it properly. We have young achievers and role models. Daisy Taylor, a 17-year-old a couple of years back, who identified suture that changes color when infected in US. Siddharth Nadalya, who was in the news very recently, a 14-year-old Indian origin person who used AI to predict cardiac disease in matter of seconds. So age is not a bar to do research or achieve. We as professionals in undergraduates can definitely take a major role or a minor role in research. Not only that, exactly 70 years ago, 30 to 50 years ago, there was a young lad, Chennai lad, even from our own Stanley Medical College, who published in Nature. Professor V.S. Ramachandran, a legend in neuros and cognitive sciences. He started as a second year student. So there are ample evidences, role models who can publish even without mentors. Think now itself, you have got a lot of research enterprises happening in our undergraduate curriculum. But nearly 50 years back, 1970s, a young student without a lot of mentors, where clinicians were regarded as demigods, clinics was given importance. At that point of in his life, decided to do some research, published, got into the best of the best journals, and carved a niche for himself, carved a career for himself in neurology. Such is the power of research and publications. In this enterprise, the skills you gain are critical thinking ability, the ability to look through numbers, data analysis, most importantly, communication, networking, name it, all the soft skills, you gradually, you observe that you are imbibing these characters. So this enterprise is worth taking the effort. And most importantly, the recognition that comes from your peers and the society, which is more important than anything that drives you. The $1 million question that will come into your mind is, am I fit for research? And do I have the capability to do the research? Believe me, you and everybody has the ability and capacity to do research, either independently or under a mentor. Attitude is the mindset, the ability to bounce back, the positive energy is the attitude. Aptitude is the skill, intelligence, capability. Remember, attitude comes from the mind, from your heart, from your upbringing, the never die attitude. Aptitude is what you develop, what you learn, what you pick up on the way. Aptitude gets you started, but mind you, the attitude to do research only keeps you going. To put in the matrix, when the attitude, the bottom shows the x-axis shows the attitude or willingness to do from low to high, and the y-axis shows the aptitude or the capability to do research. When you start with low willingness and low capability, you grow steadily from an underachiever, stagnator, technician, or a struggler, a steady contributor, or a specialist. You may be an underdog if you have a strong willingness to learn but low capability. But as you go through or gather these techniques and the skills, pick up the skills, you become a rising star and a superstar. So these 9 groups: technician, stagnator, underachiever, struggler, steady contributor, specialist, underdog, rising star, superstar, makes you a competent researcher. So choose where you are. Start going into the underachiever, steady contributor to the superstar. Let your growth be like this, rather like this, which is more important. Let your growth be diagonal like this, rather than going like this or this or this. So that is the most important thing. Now, we will erase this before we proceed. And as in your clinics or in your lab, you are already a part of research. You subconsciously do some data analysis, you collect some data analysis, you process the data, you look through the numbers. You are subconsciously doing some sort of research informally. When you formalize that work, it becomes a research. So As a student, never hesitate to be a part when the opportunity strikes at you. So what is the research gap that always your mentors or guides talks about when you approach them for a research? Even before that, understanding what is a research gap, you need to know what is an idea for research. To put very bluntly and simply, idea is a thought or collection of thoughts that generates in your mind. It may be with an intent with a solution or arise a passing cloud unintentionally too. It's basically an opinion, belief, or even a rationalized entity. They are often fragile. You tend to forget. Unless you process the idea, you may forget the idea. So they are very, very fragile. They may drive you to dream, but not persistence. To make that a dream and achievable one, you require a series of concentrated steps that process the raw ideas to a possible action, and that results in a paper. Remember, ideas are cheap. You don't need to invest. They are cheap. You may develop 1,001 ideas. So do not get too hung over by them. Rationally, you have to choose one idea that is workable and work towards it. We will see how. What is research gap? Research gap is an unanswered questions or underexplored areas or unexplored areas in your field, maybe medical, dental, or whatever the field you choose. The problem is we are always incapacitated without ideas. Ideas we will have. Research gap, you got to search. Not search a couple of hours on your internet or what your senior says. Put your soul and heart into it. You will identify gaps that you are capable, your resources are capable for answering to produce a paper. For example, some gaps at the institutional levels. We always see patients' attendance reporting back for appointments. Let us say, how many of you are aware how many percentage of patients miss up follow-ups or follow-up appointments in your own institutions? If you have a concrete data, then that will become the data for your next paper, because people tend to concentrate which department has more follow-ups. Either it is conservative dentistry or orthodontics in dentistry or medicine surgery or gynec or dermatology. In fact, to any departments in your medical institutions. So people have been always concentrating on the percentage of follow-ups or appointments in your OPD. But how many of bother why the patient didn't turn up? Was he not satisfied? What is the source? Go back to that. That forms a paper. The camp conversion rates, how much people from the camp turns to your institution, the seasonal variation in each of your OPDs, dental departments, which require treatments, and whether flexible appointments as in consultation with the patient reduces missed follow-ups. All these are sources of some papers. Whether the fear of pain, fear of doctors, fear of medicine, fear of injection influence the patient decision to return for follow-up. These are some gaps that you could address at your own institutional levels, which may be or could be becoming a paper for policies at later stage of your life. Research idea. Generating a research idea is the most difficult stage for a young beginner. The idea has to be interesting to you as well as to others. It should evoke a positive feeling to your mentor. It should be workable. Don't plan a noble grade, billions of dollars or rupees worth projects when you start. It has to be cost effective that you can manage or your parents can manage. The work has to be understandable by your mentors, contemporary, accessible. You should have accessible to the resources and relevant to the context you are speaking. Don't speak quantum mechanics at undergraduate level in a medical college or a dental college. That's outside. And for this to happen, you need to be curious, courageous to face odds, and a little bit of creativity dash. When I say thinking, you have to have two components, a rational thinking and a creative thinking. Rational thinking is based on evidence, on your own strength, on your own learning. modulated by your past experience and peer interaction, your friendly or your mentor. Basically, it's your personal experience, whether you read, you have experienced it, you have talked, you have analyzed. Creative thinking is personal preference. It is just exploring, developing, mind mapping, see where the link is, and to an extent, the ability to solve the problem. So, research by itself is a combination of rational thinking and creative thinking. Rational thinking, what others have thought, creative thinking, what you have thought over the process. For this, I follow the Scamper model. Scamper model, I will say S stands for substitute, C for combine, A for adapt, M for modify, P for put to another use, E for eliminate, R for reverse and rearrange. For example, let us take the Newton's idea of the apple falling from the tree. How I use that? The Scamper model. Substitute. I substitute the Newton's apple with an orange and come say that orange also falls down due to gravity. Combine. Apple and oranges fall through gravity. See how I put the paper. Newton, by seeing the apple falling down from a tree, has identified gravity. Now, I follow Scamper guidelines to modify that result. I say oranges also falling down, so gravity exists. Orange tree and oranges are subject to gravity effect. I combine the two apple trees everywhere. It is ubiquitous. Then adapt. I say that apples, even if I throw up, it comes down. I adapt to the thing. That is what adaptation means. Modify from one fact to the other fact. You move out. Now, apples not only fall from tree, even if I throw the apple, it comes down because of gravity. Then I modify it. Even if I use this gravity to launch a rocket, I would need some speed to escape the barrier of gravity. That is modification of the principle. Put to another use, like zero gravity. What happens? Things float, not fly. That is putting the concept to another thing. Elimination. If I eliminate gravity, what would happen to the apple? Reversal, rearranging. If the gravity is in oppositional range or in space, what will be the force? Whether close to the sun or centripetal, centrifugal. The last three is putting up and requires a deep process. The one in grays require a lot of gray matter, whereas the others is just doing things for sake of doing things because your boss has asked to do it. And what are the blocks to your creativity? The fear of failure is the most important block. Ambiguity, either from your end or from your mentor end, from your infrastructure end. Conformity, resource myopia, restrictions in resources, rigidity of the system, all blocks your creativity, which will block your idea generation. So thinking or creativity barriers, your regular routines, test, internal cycle test will block your barriers. The habits, wrong category, choosing, you may have an interest in ophthalmology, you may have an interest in physiology, but choosing the same thing to do in anatomy or orthopedics will block you. Premature evaluation, even before you read, develop a concrete idea, seeking a mentor or discussing that with peers, premature evaluation will lead to discouragement from your peers or your mentors. So premature evaluation is a barrier. Emotional insecurity that stems from your failures, past failures. Pressure of conformity, expectation to succeed. So that pressure will be a barrier. Cultural barriers, that is a very Indian-oriented barrier where innovation is stuck out at the end by the system right from start. Working environment, if it is not congenial, where research is not a part of the culture, then you may face some barriers. Intellectual challenges from your mentors or the staff at the department will force you to cut down your creativity. For creative mindset development, you should be open to experience. It may be imbibing the lectures, reading literature, or exploring internet to gain some experience. You have to develop the aptitude to see things differently, to do things differently, which should be fueled by curiosity. For all this, you need a sort of freedom. You should be willing to take some calculated risks, come out of your comfort zone, and should be free from the fear of failure. Enjoy the process. Be ready to enjoy the process of research, not look at the result of research. How to approach creativity? Brainstorming, where a group or a friends, like-minded friends, generates idea without judgment. Be fool around. See what are all the possibility. Reverse, coming from the back. If the cycle goes, what are the parts involved? What is the energy involved? That is reverse brainstorming. For example, an equipment, how it works. Be ready to open it up and see. And the same thing, putting in a different way. Instead of talking out, writing it. Brain writing instead of brainstorming. Instead of reverse brainstorming, do reverse brain writing. Gordon method is one where a group explore broad concepts, and as the discussion happens over a tea, you will start to reveal or focus down your concept. And that is by argument. That is the Gordon's method. Checklist methods is modifications. Cramper method, you put in a checklist, you slowly eliminate to trigger new ideas. Free association, start with a concept or a paper, record all thoughts, flow of thoughts, let the creativity flow. Forced relationship, A, B, how to link A with B. That is one idea which when works, you spark novel ideas. If not, it's just another idea passing cloud. Collective notebook. A lot of team members put in the ideas and see a week or month later how the ideas turn around. Attribute listing is breaking the problem into so many parts and see how it can be changed or reversed. So these are the approach. Brainstorming, I go again. Brainstorming, brain writing, reverse brainstorming, reverse brain writing. The Gordon method, where you don't look at the end product, but travel with your idea to receive the end product. Checklist method, free association, forced relationship between concepts, collective notebook of the team, attribute listing. The mindset development requires an imaginative, creative mind, a questioning attitude, and always wonders why. The steps to generate research ideas, you need to read a little amount of literature for the background. You slowly start to narrow down, develop or map the ideas, refine the ideas with your peers, go for an in-depth literature views, focus what you want to do, see whether it is original, you have some unique selling point, whether you add something new to the literature, whether that is workable, whether that is sellable, and most importantly, whether that is in parallel with your dreams or with your team's dream. So you make ideas, write the idea, make notes, do it multiple times to refine, discuss with equals, discuss with the team, get their feedback, discuss the refined idea with your mentor or guides, get their feedbacks, refine before you chart your action or do a course correction. Do this multiple of times, you will get a refined idea wherein you will start to go or develop your research question. And there you will find your research methodology coming into the play. Then once you know what's your research question, think for the feasibility. How much money, how much time will it require? What are the dreams or what are should I sacrifice to make this research project feasible? Be enthusiastic about your project. The team's enthusiasm and your enthusiasm should be the driving force. If you are not impressed by your own projects, why should others be bothered by this project? You should have the dopamine rush. You should be your dream. The dream that doesn't come in your sleep, but the dream that doesn't let you to sleep, as Dr. Abdul Kalam said. You have to dream. The dream should not let you sleep. Work, work, work. You have to have a level head when you're resource mapping. How much time beyond your academics does it require? How much access do I have for the facilities for doing this research? How much funding, whether it is from my own pocket or some support, whether my parents or from my institution, my department, whether that funding will happen? What sort of people help I would require, whether it is from my own network, from my own college, from my own department, and what sort of data should I collect, process, or handle? You should have a proper research mapping before you jump in, because you might have a good question, but if it is too much beyond your capabilities at the start itself, you will start seeing failures which will lead to broken hearts. Remember, the research ecosystem is wide. It has a lot of people in it. Even in your department, your colleagues, your fellow students, your departmental tutors, associates, professors, head of the departments, principal, vice principal, lot of committees. Research goes through all this. The facilities, the funders, most importantly, your parenters, your colleagues, your better halves, they are all integral part of the research ecosystem, and they should be supporting it. You have to convince, so that only I call it as the research enterprise. Research is not a single thing, but an enterprise. It is an ecosystem where you need to do it. So to succeed in this, generate as many ideas as possible. And at the instance of the first, forget about the constraints first. And develop the idea, refine the idea, work around for constraints. There will be hurdles, but at the end, the champion waits for you. Source of ideas comes from strong observation. Think differently. You may have a lot of daily experience, the consultations, the talks, the decision dilemmas, the field level observation, brainstorming, reverse brainstorming from your own academic or clinical experience, what you read, and most importantly, what you call as the intuition. All these 9 are source of ideas. How do you translate an idea to research? The idea to develop a research starts with a genuine interest, a dream, a question. And it is not possible to have a question and be not curious about it. It is like an itch. You should scratch yourself to satisfy the itch. You should work to answer the research. So such should be the idea or the dream. So I would suggest what I call is the world call it as the finer concept for selecting a research topic. First, as I said, feasible, interesting, and novel. It should be sellable. The world requires new novel ideas. In the world of AI, in the world of ChatGPT, everything is discoverable, and your work should be ethical. Right from day one, develop a policy of being ethic, because look through a lot of databases, Indians are known for being unethical. Right from your starts, develop a motto for being ethical. There will be a lot of dilemmas, a lot of pressure to do an extent of misconduct or unethical practices, but resist it. And most importantly, ensure that your work is relevant. F for feasibility, I for interesting, N for novel, E for ethical, R for relevant. Finer. And that's you, my makale, for selecting a research topic. The criteria: feasibility, interesting, novel, ethical, relevant. Finer. So what to do with this finer chosen research topic? Analyze it. My mentors are 5 W's and 2 H. What are they? 5 W's. What, who, whom, when, where, why, how, and how much. These 7 questions will help me to refine my way for the research idea. The best way to have a good idea is to have a lot of ideas and lot of thought process. None other than by the famous biologist Linus Pauling. Refining idea, the Russian doll approach. A big doll, a lot of idea. As you open it up, refine. At the end, you will see a small doll, like the innermost precious Russian doll, your workable, polished idea. The refining idea, ladies and gentlemen, is the Russian doll approach. Or alternatively, if you are social enough, you have a lot of contact, your mentors have a lot of contact. Enforce what I call it the Delphi technique. World knows it. Look through, search for a Delphi technique where you have a peer group. List out uncertainty. You ask open questions. The expert answers it. The steering groups, multiple passing it on. List of priorities. Set a list of ideas. That is having a question. The research ideas may be grand theories in your own mind, which are broad, abstract, and general. Foundational level frameworks that shakes the concept of understanding. Theory of relativity, chaos theory, gamification theory. All these are grand theories. Mid-range theories, focused, testable, bridge theories, and practicable. Substantial, very focused theory in real-world data. And most of the theories that we work with, our level of small capacity and capabilities are substantiative theories. But mind you, grand theories are possible. Alan Turing's dissertation, Alan Turing is the father of, I would call, artificial intelligence. His dissertation was mere 23 pages. Repurposing existing data is the easiest way to do a research. Use of existing data collected for one purpose in a new context. Secondary data analysis. When somebody has done the work, collected the data, you take that data, see what else can be done new. It enhances research efficiency, reduces time, reduces cost, develops critical thinking because you have data. What paper can I generate out of this? What new hypothesis can I develop out of it? The easiest way is go to your department, look at your PG thesis, get the data out of it, put it to the AI. What else I can write out of it? What new paper can I generate out of this? There will be some possibility. The data is out there. All you need is to make some paper out of it. Not in the way that the previous doctor has thought about it, but in an entirely new dimension, new purpose. That is your secondary data analysis. The sources of this secondary data analysis may be from patient records in your departments, library usage records, dissertation, thesis, even court records. We'll see it later. Any public records of, say, surveys, all of them are in the public domain. If you are in India, see open data. Anything can be used to publish papers if it is relevant to you. All you need is very, very, very strong thinking process. Social media is a data mine. Search for trend analysis, advertisement. There are so many trends, and all this search are a data mine. Patient-related outcome message, PROM. Public and patient involvement in evaluation and engagement, PPIE tools. These are the newest term, hot selling ideas. Remind you, if you are able to a PROM or a PPIE in India with a small, say 100 to 200 patients and bring out a PROM or a PPIE papers, you will influence policies. You can introduce what is structural competency assessment. This doesn't require a lot of money. There is no structural competency assessment for even monotonous things like dental caries, for a boil, for acne. Do it. The prompt for an acne is not there. The PPE, IEE for acne treatment or a simple myopia is minimal. So you can start up for this, start small projects. Start small, but think big. The traditional research, the systematic review, meta-analysis, or the old school. Using that, artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, sensors are the newest domains. So, as a 21st century medical student or a dental student, you need to be aware of all the newer. Every new technology on the horizon has low risk, safe bet, speculative, risky, handle with care, high risk. So a lot of evidence, emerging evidence, lot of emerging technology on the horizon may have low risk, safe bet, or risky, or a high risk, or ones that can be handled with care. So a lot of things are emerging. You need to be a little bit picky if you are working with this emerging technologies. The shortcuts for easy research carries risks and require a little bit of payment. There are research topic generators, AI tools, wherein you type in some concept that you require, the topics and ideas comes out. Basically, the artificial intelligence tries to help you to generate. The research topic generator, a paid service, picks up the topics, gives you some idea or areas where it should look into, helps you with some topics. And remember, they are just research topic generator. The other paid mentoring surveys, ethically, could be like Grammarly for grammar, for rewriting, formatting your written matter. But remind you, they are, though ethical, you have to make proper declaration. The unethical services include data fabrication, ghostwriting, gift authorship for money or for power, or any other scientific misconduct. But mind you, I would strongly advise to keep away from any paid service, because the learning curve, it kills you. The risk of using paid service, you risk the risk of missing the learning curve, because you learn by doing mistakes. You miss the trial and error opportunity. You are encouraged to depend on these services who might misinterpret your work, not to the fullest extent, because it is your brainchild. You have to go. And there are a lot of ethical issues, or most of the services operate on borderlines. So it's your choice. For idea to research, be specific, that is measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. And the next work of finer. Your work, idea, research should be very specific, should be measurable to make things work. The work should be in such a fashion that it is achievable, realistic, in a timely fashion. Don't do a work that takes 5 years to complete. Take a small project, 6 months project to begin with, to publish. And for idea generation, I would say diamond ranking method, which is a structured approach to prioritize and rank idea based on listed criteria that you develop. It helps a brainstorming session or brainwriting sessions, which will help you to critically think, collaborate with your peers and mentors for decision making. It passes through a systematical level of multiple ideas and options, will help to get a clear focus, streamline the idea process even before you start the research. It helps to innovatively think, bypass the barriers. It is nothing but a chart where you prioritize a diamond shape. The top and bottoms, or the topmost is the most feasible area by 3 features: the critical, feasibility, novelty, everything, whatever you may list. The top, the idea that has the best possibility, slowly coming down to the bottom, slowly, the least at the bottom. And you work around with your team or within you, the priority, feasibility, novelty, put your ideas, say how it can be modified to become a novel, how it can be modified to become feasible, or whether it suits your priority. List down the criteria, refine ideas till you are satisfied. Then take it to the peers, discuss, deliberate. research enterprise is all about a teamwork. So this diamond chart will help to prioritize. From one work, you could develop 3 or 4 papers and visualize your ideas in vector space. Bridge the gap between literature, what you have read, what you have experienced, and reality. Challenge existing concepts and theories. This will help you to develop new insight and evolve new evidences. And that is what is all about research idea generation. If you are not satisfied with this literature, read this article by Ben David. Some ideas that I have evolved using Medline databases for nearly 15 years. I did a bibliometric analysis, something like 15 years back. I use a mathematical modeling on how there is the surgical sponges absorption capacity, what influences it. It's a published work. You can see it. Simple things, novelty, feasibility, and critical thinking. Most important, court cases. The Indian dental litigation landscape, analysis of judgment on dental negligence claims in Indian consumer redressal forums well before the COVID. So, all it requires idea, refinement, processing, talking. This is another interesting aligners somewhere in 2013-14 when aligners were introduced, left-right centers. Then a lot of work went to it over the period of 10 years. A lot of adverse events are being studied. But I would be proud to say this was one of my foremost and one of the first this kind of work that was published. Mind you, all this didn't cost me. In silico analysis from the Hungarian Pharmacological Journal, Neuropharmacological Journal. So to publish, all you need is to have a neck to do things differently and not be satisfied with simple ideas, simple concept, or be held within the barriers of that. Some papers that impressed me: association between season and temperature, between unstimulated parotid, submandibles, and sublingual secretion rates. I would suggest take this journal, take this article, read to it. It is available in the internet. Very simple concept. 4 seasons, AC, non-AC. What is the salivary flow rate? Add pH to it. With the climate change and other concepts emerging, this is very influential. Has a lot of implication. Simple flow rate calculation of saliva in 40 or 50 people changes. The data is too good. Effect of various types of milk on salivary pH among children. Very recent study, 2020, I believe. Simple, condensed milk, free milk, toned milk. Daily, if I take, what is the pH? After 5 minutes ingestion, how pH varies. Very simple concept. So, the idea or the expense will be a couple of liters of milk. That's it. Distribution of oral mucosal pH values in healthy salivary secretors. Mind you, it was published in a Q1 journal. Mind you, only one ideas turn into entire publications. Time spent on poor ideas can be extensive, but importance of increasing the thorough output or conversion is very important. So you have got a lot of articles that is being published, how we can develop great research ideas. Read them. Inspiration from ideation practice. Most important in a research enterprise, you need to be aware of the barriers in research. The common issues are lack of resources. I don't have people, I don't have time, I don't have bureaus. Nothing works. limited exposure to research methodologies. I don't know. I want to do it. I have a dream, but I do not know how to approach. You are not clear of your question, unclear objectives. Then your dream too big. Issues with feasibility, cost factor, time factor. My first year and second year are pushing me and not allowing me to take the short-term studentship. No, you have to plan. Research is an ecosystem which you have to plan. It is an enterprise. It is like you're running a company. You have to devote. Everybody has 24 hours time. How to manage time? The academic load will press you, but you need to find time out. Passion. Every day you eat, you sleep. You find a time out to do this. The dream of doing a research should push you to find time. Balance things. Not at the cost of academics, but balancing. Work with it. Demotivation and structural discouragements from your own peers, from your own mentors. Internal factors, that is from your own within. A lack of confidence or confidentiality, self-efficacy, fear of failure or rejection, personal challenges, academic load, stress, anxiety, everything. External factors, that is beyond your control. Poor mentorship, guidance. The staff is not encouraging you, is not providing you resources. Criticize you. It is not a constructive or a positive criticism, but negative. That is external factors. Situational factors where your both are not under control. Your schedules, burnout, bureaucratic hurdles, publication process itself, and at the end of the day, very poor recognition or poor rewards for the effort you undertake. That may demotivate you. How it will demotivate you? Negative peer influence. Why to do this? Your friends stop you. Why do you stress yourself by doing this unnecessary things? Lack of collaboration. Your own team member may ditch you. Unhealthy competition. Too much of peer pressure also is a discouragement. The pressure to perform, the pressure to publish, the pressure to present in conference. Unhealthy competitions. Backbiting. The classroom environment itself may be a negative factor. The peer pressure, the academic overload, test, internal cycle test, everything may be a deterrent. And how to do this? Foster a positive peer network. Encourage collaborative learning and doing. Sharing of ideas. Creative peer support group for discussing challenges and solutions. Go for in a constructive feedback loop, wherein you take up only the constructive feedback, throw away the negative. It is easy to say. Cases of bullying, discouragement, unhealthy competition, talk to your support system, maybe to your better half, maybe to your parents, your peers. Talk it out. Develop the resilience. That is more important. You need to stay healthy to fight the system. Demotivation from academic staff, maybe in the form of lack of supportive guidance, misappropriate or cheating of ideas, taking out your data, selling out the idea, data, not including you or acknowledging it for your effect. Poor micromanagement or over-controlling, which stifles the creativity in you. The staff may show excessive negative attitude towards your ideas. Be inconsistent their feedbacks. Don't provide constructive criticism, rather provide destructive criticism. They restrict access to resources, literature, work, time, reallocate or give a preferential treatment or allocation to your colleague than to you. These are common, very common demotivation. But you need to come out of that mentality. You have to work through it. Staff attitude and aptitude. Attitude is what they show. Aptitude is what you get. The staff attitude may be supportive, neutral, or negative, or anywhere in the shade. The staff aptitude may be very resourceful, neutral, or non-resourceful. If the staff or your mentor is supportive and resourceful, you are bang on the target. If the staff is neutral, but the attitude is supportive, you can work around. If the staff by inherently is non-resourceful, but extremely supportive, still you can achieve, you can get support. If the staff attitude is neutral and the aptitude is resourceful, you can still talk and convince. The staff is both neutral and in aptitude and attitude, still you can fight by your own propulsion. The staff is neutral or turns a blind eye and is non-resourceful, but he permits to do it, your motivation will keep you. The staff attitude is negative. If he is resourceful, damn, you are seeing a roadblock. The staff attitude is negative. The staff aptitude is neutral. You can work with your peers. The staff is non-resourceful, negative. Mind you, postpone your research for some time. How to tackle this? Build strong relationship with faculty, either with a particular faculty or others. Beg for open communication. Go back, regular check-in with your mentors. Ask him, beg, borrow, steal. Seek multiple perspective. Engage with the different faculty members if you feel it is a roadblock. Ask for your institutional support. Push for better access to resource. Sell your idea. Develop resilience. Remember, the whole world will turn against you. Mara Jichru. Independence. Develop. Focus on self-directed learning and problem-solving skills to mitigate reliance on the staff support. Work to an extent so that you don't need your staff to motivate or demotivate you. Let the resource come and resilience come from you. A good fit with aptitude, attitude, low aptitude, a high aptitude. You can see, train and develop, build skills. If you are low on your aptitude and a poor fitted attitude, you need to improve. A medium aptitude, poor attitude, inconsistently competent. Whereas a good attitude and a medium aptitude, you are consistently competent. Whereas a good aptitude and a poor attitude, you are a talented. You have the ability to work, but you don't do it. The Dunning-Kruger's effect is working. If you are a good aptitude and a good fit, you are a high performer. So conclusions, key takeaways. Research is a formalized curiosity. It is about asking questions, systematically seeking answers. It is not, research is not for geniuses alone. It is for everybody. Everything is a research. Everything is a data. And anyone can do, but they can do research, but they need curiosity and persistence. In today's world, research skills are crucial because it empowers you. It keeps you away from the ordinary. The first step in generating idea is to be curious, courageous, and creative. You need to use techniques, Cramper, Russian doll, Delphi, finer criteria to refine your ideas and work towards your research. Demotivation will be there, and you need to know to tackle demotivation. Be smart of your research, be smart about your approach, and avoid shortcuts. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to approach me. I am open to novel ideas, mentoring, if you don't have resources. And if your idea is feasible, let me help you to put your thought process beyond your mentors. Thank you for a patient listening, and